G'day guys, and welcome to the show where I report on the latest in video game news. Now, if you guys do end up enjoying today's video, please remember to smack the like button. And now let's jump to the first news report on today's show, which has to do with the Xbox One X and surge protection, because Microsoft have warned gamers about surge protection since it is technically built in to the Xbox One X. Some gamers out there were complaining that their Xbox One wasn't turning on, specifically their Xbox One X console, and then Xbox support decided to tweet this out, and they told you, did you know that your Xbox One is designed to be plugged directly into a wall outlet? And then they tell you basically that it does have surge protection built into it, especially the latest Xbox One X. Now, the interesting thing is they've told you to not use a surge protector, which kind of bugs me because if I buy something, I want it to be really safe. As gamers, when we buy a new system, it's worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You don't want that to go down the drain because the power goes out, screws and fries your system. You don't want that to happen. That's why you use a surge protector. By the way, in the comments down below, let me know if you guys actually use surge protectors. The thing is, the reason that Microsoft are actually telling people to not use a surge protector is because most people out there go and buy one for like $2 from the dollar store or something, and then it just totally ruins your system, which is terrible. If you're smart, you're actually going to use an expensive surge protector, like one worth some money. The one that I use worth about $60, which is pretty decent. It's not the best one out there, but it's still pretty damn good. It's got really good reviews and everything like that, so that's why I got it. Like, I want my stuff to be safe, especially my PC back there. I don't want that thing to go boom. I really don't want it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why Microsoft, it's really weird that they're saying this. It's kind of stupid that Microsoft is saying this, like, don't use a surge protector on your Xbox One, because you should still use one, but don't use a really cheap one, because I think that's what they're trying to get at. Don't use really cheap, crappy surge protectors that will fry your system. Use a decent one that's actually going to save it. So yeah, it's kind of annoying that Microsoft have done that, but if you want to read more about that, it is linked down below. But now, let's move on to the next news report on today's show, and it's a massive one, because as you can read this headline right here, Belgium's Gaming Commission declares loot boxes are gambling, wants them banned in Europe. This is actually huge news, and it's coming just after this whole Star Wars Battlefront 2 and EA Games debacle. Like, look at this news. It's seriously taking off big time. Now, what they stated here, as you can see on screen, the Gaming Commission declared, the mixing of money and addiction is gambling. Belgium's Minister of Justice, Koen Geens, I'm not sure if I pronounced that name wrong, or right, or whatever, I'm really sorry if you're from Belgium. Basically, Minister of Justice Koen Geens added his voice to the decision, stating, mixing gambling and gaming, especially at a young age, is dangerous for the mental health of a child. He also added a few more things, basically repeating the same kind of stuff, and I totally agree with this Minister of Justice from Belgium. It's totally true. Loot boxes and all this stuff is gambling in a way. Like, it's not totally gambling, but it is. And I'm just happy to see it possibly getting out of here. This stuff shouldn't be in AAA games. It shouldn't be in most video games. I hate loot boxes. I used to love playing games where you would actually unlock stuff because you would work towards it. I hate this whole notion of just like playing and earning credits or buying credits to open a loot box with the chance of getting something. That's complete BS, and it shouldn't be a thing. I don't know where you guys stand. Hell, I'm wearing a jacket that is an Overwatch jacket, and it's like one of the biggest loot box games out there potentially. The thing is though, with Overwatch, it's all cosmetic, but then again, people are still spending money to get some stuff with just the chance of getting that stuff. They don't necessarily get it, but the rates do give out pretty high with Overwatch. However, still, I do consider it somewhat gambling. I don't know where you guys stand with this, but I actually prefer that they are cracking down on this whole gambling and loot box thing. It's a great thing that they're cutting it out of big time games, especially games that are so accessible to young gamers. And on top of this news with Belgium and cracking down on gambling with loot boxes, it's actually happening in the United States too, with the politicians getting involved. Yes, it's happening in Hawaii. Democrat Representative Chris Lee took to the podium, specifically singling out Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is pretty obvious, which he described as an online casino specifically designed to lure kids into spending money. He brilliantly added, "It's a trap." Good one, Chris. Good one. Yeah, good Star Wars reference. And hell, it is a trap. He went on to say a few other things regarding the matter, and I totally agree. It's crazy. It's just seriously crazy that this whole thing started on Reddit because people were pissed off about the hours that you had to earn to get credits and everything to unlock certain characters, and then the whole loot box gambling aspect of the thing blew up and everything, and now it's gotten all the way to governments in Europe, governments in the United States. It's seriously cracking down. I'll definitely be up to date with you guys on these stories as they do break down. This is a huge topic in gaming. It could change the way games are played. Hell, it could even potentially change FIFA packs, which in a way are also gambling, I guess, but we'll see what happens with all that. But yeah, anyway, now let's move on to our next news report on today's show, and it's got to do with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds because, well, we have a new look at the brand new desert map with the updated names. Now, this map actually came out a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago or so, and it had like kind of early names and everything. I think it was leaked originally and none of the names were final, but it looks like these new names are final. As you can see, Los Leonas, El Pozo, like I'm terrible with these pronunciations in Spanish, but then again, a lot of people in the comments are stating that this is basically Spanglish, like the names don't make any sense, the names don't really work properly, like the capitalizations and things like that. But the map does look pretty cool. It looks kind of a lot more like dense than the last one. Like there's a lot more going on. It looks a little larger, maybe similar size, I'm not too sure, but it does look like there's a lot more going on in there. So if you want to check out that full map, you can zoom in into like full resolution and everything. I've linked it down below. It's definitely worth checking out. I'm a huge PUBG fan and I play like way too many hours of that game. So yeah, you guys should definitely check that out if you're like me. But anyway, now let's move on to the next news report on today's show. And it's our final news report, and it's a really quick one, and it's got to do with Playground Games. If you don't know, Playground Games are behind the Forza Horizon series, and well, they tweeted this out as you can see on screen. We have a home for our new AAA open world action RPG project. And as you can see right there, they show off the building and a few other little details, but the big thing right here is that Playground Games is developing a AAA open world RPG game. That's amazing. I can't wait to see what they do with that. I love the Horizon series. Hell, the last Horizon game was set in Australia, so I'm a little bit biased, but the thing is, it's crazy to see that they are changing things up over there and developing a RPG open world game. I can't wait to see what they actually do with that. But anyway, guys, that's it for the gaming news. Now, let's get to the Gorilla Man question. Thanks, Gorilla Man. Okay, guys, the question is, what is the worst thing that has ever happened to your gaming console or PC or system or whatever? What is the worst thing that's ever happened to it? And yeah. So get creative with your answers and put them down below in the comment section and you could end up on the next show. But if you enjoyed today's video, please just smack that like button real good because I'm Chan Chong, my accent's Australian here. The answers to Gorilla Man's previous question.